Hello, this is a quick overview of the 2020 theme by WordPress. 2020 was the default WordPress theme for the year 2020 and it looks great out of the box. It has 3 page templates and 2 footer widget areas. 2020 theme uses the default WordPress blocks which are nicely styled. The blocks have just enough customization options to enable you to build a professional looking website while keeping the learning curve short. If you're looking for an easy to use theme and you're willing to accept 2020's limited options for styling the hero section, this is an excellent choice. And remember, 2020 is a WordPress default theme, so it's likely to be maintained and updated by WordPress for many years to come. 2020 has 3 page templates which you can use on both pages and posts. This is the cover template which I use on pages. This is the default template which looks good on blog posts because you can add a featured image at the top and you can add the post excerpt here. There's also a full width template, and the main difference with this template is the width of the paragraph blocks. On a normal page, the paragraph block is much narrower. This is the normal width of the paragraph block. So you've got the cover template, the default template, and the full width template. And you access the page templates in the WordPress settings sidebar, page, not block, page, and you've got these template options here. And you can use any template on any page or post, except the archive pages like your blog page. There are 2 footer widget areas which you access via the customizer. You go to customize, widgets, and you've got footer 1 and footer 2. Still in the customizer, if you go to the menus option and we select a menu that we've made, we scroll down, we've got 5 menu location options. If we scroll back up there, we're now using the traditional menu, the desktop horizontal menu, but instead of that we can use a menu that looks more like a mobile phone menu. So I'm going to use the desktop expanded menu. I'm going to disable the horizontal menu, and now we've got a menu that looks like a mobile phone menu. It's a bit of a styling choice, but it's available if that's what you want to do. Now, I prefer the traditional menu, so I'm going to turn off expanded menu and turn back on the horizontal menu. Now, if you look further down, there's a footer menu, and I've reused this menu in the footer. We won't be able to see the drop-down links because drop-down links don't work in footer menus. But I've reused the main menu in the footer, and the footer menu goes on the left and the social icons go on the right. Now I've got another menu that I made, the social icons, and that's where I've enabled them. So I'll just go back. The social menu, and here I've activated the social menu, and you make the social menus by just making a custom link with your Twitter link or whatever, and you just type in Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is that you're linking to, and you put your URL there, and then you'll get these icons. Now if we go back to the customizer, we've got some color options. So if we go to customizer colors, we can change the primary color, which is the link color and things like icons and buttons. So if you custom for primary colour and just pick a different colour, the colour will change. Now let's go back to the default. We can also change the colour of the footer and the header. So if we just select this, it's white by default, but if we wanted, say, blue, we can change the colour. As you can see, the text has changed colour too, and that's part of how 2020 theme works. You choose the background colour, and if there's text on top of that background colour for most of the blocks, WordPress will choose a colour for the text that is easy to read, which is a really handy feature. So that will change the footer colour, and if you're using a default template, it'll change the header background colour. I'm going to set that back to default, and we can choose a background colour for the main body area of the page. So if you wanted to choose a different colour for the main body, you could choose white, or be very careful if you choose a different colour. It's important to have a good background colour, an easy to read background colour for your main text area. I'm going to put that back to default, which is this slightly off-white colour. Now we can also choose the overlay colour for cover templates. So if we go back to the customizer and cover template, we can choose a colour if we want to. I prefer to use black because black is usually easier to read the text on top of the image, and we can also set the opacity . But be careful with the opacity because different images will need different amounts of opacity. So pick an opacity level that is suitable for most images. And if you want to, you can pick a colour for the text. I think black on white usually works well, but if you want to, you can pick your own colour. Now you can also choose this fixed background image option for cover template. I don't mind the image moving as I scroll, but if you'd prefer the image to be fixed, that option is there. Publish, save our changes. Site title and logo options. If we go back to the customizer, if we go to site identity, you can put in your site title and a tagline in the same way you normally do it. If you select a logo, it says here 120 by 90, but if you make it double size, I'll put this one in. I made this one 240 by 180, and then when we select that, we now get this retina logo option because I made the image twice as big as it needs to be. So if you want to use a retina ready logo, that's how you can do it. One other thing I would mention, I'll just publish that so you can actually see what's going off because my computer's having a struggle with the logo. So if we close the customizer, what we've got here is a logo with a coloured background. Now the reason I've done that is because we go to another page, this is using the default template, and now we've got a black logo on a white background. But if in the customizer, I'm going to change the logo, this is a white logo on a transparent background. So we use that logo. On the default page template, it's got a white background, so we've now got a white logo with a white background. It works good on the cover template because that's got a darker background. That's something you have to bear in mind. You can only have one logo. So if you're going to have a white background on your default pages and a darker background on your cover template pages, choose your logo carefully and then check to make sure you can actually see it on the different pages. You can also upload a site icon as usual. Now, I don't want to use an image logo, so I'm just going to remove it. Paragraph widths. In 2020 theme, the paragraphs are fixed at this width. Now that looks restrictive, and some people think that all of the blocks are restricted to that width. They're not. Most of the blocks have different widths. So this is a headline block, and this one's got none, wide and full width. This is a group block, and that's got none, wide and full width. There's a columns block here, so if we go to the parent column block, we've got none, wide and full width. So just because the paragraph width is set to this size doesn't mean the other blocks are. Many of the other blocks can be set to wide and full width. The post excerpt. You can add a post excerpt to blog posts, not pages, just posts, and you do it in the normal way. When you're in the WordPress settings sidebar, choose the post option, not block, post, and underneath where the featured image option is, there's an edit excerpt button, and you just type your excerpt in there. And depending on the page template that you're using, you'll see the excerpt just below the post title. This is a cover template, and so the excerpt is inside this image. When you're using the default template, the post excerpt appears like this, between the post title and the featured image. If you look in the corner here, there's this search icon, and you can include or exclude that. You can show or hide it via the customizer. In the customizer, go to theme options, and you can show search in header. So the icon disappears or displays, depending which option we choose. You can also show or hide the author bio. So if we scroll to the bottom, this is the blog post, and this is the author bio. The author bio takes the text from your dashboard, users, profile, and you've got your biographical information. So that's where that comes from, and you can toggle that on or off, show or hide it. And in a blog listing page, you can show the summary from the post, or you can show the full text. Now this has got an excerpt, so instead of just a summary, it's using the excerpt. But if we wanted to, we could include the full text. So that's one blog post, then the next one, and the next one. But what you can do if you want to, you can show the full text for each blog post. So now on your blog page, the full text appears for each individual blog post. In my opinion, the only real negative point about this theme, I think, is you're limited with the way the header section looks. This is the cover template, which you can use on posts and pages, which looks quite nice. You can use the default template, which, depending on your opinions, it might be a bit too simple. What I wanted to do was to add a cover block at the top, and in a cover block you can add all sorts of different blocks inside that. But on this theme you still get the post title and this bit of a gap. Now you can, if you're a bit of a whiz with CSS, you could tinker with it to change the top of the theme like that, but you need to write your own CSS and then test it in different browsers and everything. But in my opinion, that's the only drawback with this theme. You're a bit limited with how the page header looks. In this example, I had to target the actual page I was dealing with and then write a little bit of code to get rid of the gap at the top. So if you want to do that type of thing, you'll have to be willing to tinker a bit with the code. I'll just show you how the top bit of the site is made once you've added that bit of CSS to your page. This is just an ordinary cover block. So I'll edit the page with a headline inside there. That's another headline. We could use a paragraph if you wanted to. And the button just stacked inside a cover block. And one final tip, if you want to add a drop cap to your paragraph, when you're editing the page, select the paragraph and where it says typography, click these 3 little dots, choose drop cap, then you get this little toggle switch here, turn that one on, and you can add a drop cap to your paragraph. View of the page. It just adds that little extra flourish to your page. Well, that's it for this video. I highly recommend the 2020 theme, which is a WordPress default theme. It's easy to use and it's just a good, solid, reliable theme, and it's easy to learn too. So if you're a small business web designer, it's easy for your clients to use, and if you're just learning WordPress, it's an easy theme to learn. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.